Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 40 of Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. My name is Bill Pivets. Before we get started, if you want, follow me on Twitter at bpiv_sports. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Podomatic, Podbean, and also on YouTube, so I appreciate any support I can get throughout this. This week's episode featured a main event of Bayley defending her NXT Women's Championship against Alexa Bliss. But before we got to that, we had a few matches to go over first. First one was Carmella versus Nia Jax. Carmella got a really good reaction. She tried taking down Nia early, but really no avail. Nia Jax caught her with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker and then locked her in a bear hug. Carmella was able to break free. She went for a crossbody, but Nia Jax caught her. She also went for a sunset flip, but Jax wouldn't move. She went for a sit-down splash, but Carmella was able to get out of the way and land a couple of one-legged drop kicks. She then went for Carmella went for a hurricanrana, but Nia Jax caught her, picked her up, landed that spine buster, and then won with the jumping leg drop. It was an alright match. Carmella, I think, is improving in the ring. I just really couldn't tell in this match. Nia Jax is so-so right now. We haven't really seen her do much than the typical 5 spots that she has. So this match really didn't do it for me. It's more of a, I guess I would say showcase for Nia Jax, but they're really not showing much more than I've seen the first match that she had. So it was a whatever kind of opening match for me. After that, Alexa Bliss cut a promo on Bayley with Blake and Murphy by her side. She said that if she has to hear about the Iron Women's match one more time, she's going to be blissed off. Before she finished, though, a referee approached them and said that Blake and Murphy will be banned from ringside. They got a little frustrated about that, obviously. Really good promo from Alexa Bliss. I like the confidence and arrogance that she's shown. She's really good on the mic. Not so great in the ring just yet, but her demeanor, she speaks well. I just like everything about her as far as the promo standpoint. And Blake and Murphy not being at ringside, it didn't take away from the match. It wouldn't have helped if they were at ringside because you would have expected them to interfere. So it kind of made it an even playing field for Bayley. It just would have been interesting if they were out there just to see what would have happened, what they would have tried to get Alexa Bliss. And it would have helped Bayley, I think, overcome the odds of technically a 3-on-1 situation. But nonetheless, it led to a good main event. But I'll talk about that later. Second match was Jason Jordan and Chad Gable versus The Ascension. Before this match got started, I was just hoping that Jason Jordan and Chad Gable could lead The Ascension to a good match because we know that's not the case in their 364-day title reign as NXT Tag Team Champions. The fans actually did that "Yah" chant that they do for The Ascension, but in the tune of Kurt Angle's music, so it was like, "Yah, yah, yah, yah." I'll stop there, you guys don't want to hear me sing. So it was just a mix of both worlds of doing it for Gable and then implementing The Ascension's chant. The crowd just seemed confused on who to cheer for in this match. Jason Jordan and Chad Gable wore down, I believe it was Connor in their corner. Connor was able to get some separation, and Connor and Victor took their turn on offense on Chad Gable. Jordan got the hot tag, took out both men. Each team had a pin broken up. Gable took out Connor on the outside with like a flipping senton. They then hit their finisher Grand Amplitude on Victor to get the win. Really good match. The best Ascension match that I've ever seen. While it wasn't as impressive as some of the other Chad Gable and Jason Jordan matches, it was a nice stepping stone for them to take that next step into the NXT Tag Team division. They've obviously had better matches. The Rhino and Baron Corbin one comes to mind. I think they also had a match against Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, but I think they did. Yeah, no, they definitely did. I like that match a lot. It was a couple weeks ago, actually. But just getting another quality win under their belts as they rise through the tag team ranks is very nice. And the announcers also made the comparison of the NXT Tag Team division then when Ascension were champions to now. And just thinking about it just shows that this tag team division is leaps and bounds far ahead of where it was just even a year ago with all the teams. I've mentioned it before, so I'm not going to reiterate myself, but just seeing the improvement of all quality teams that NXT has right now compared to the Ascension and Lucha Dragons. So it was just a really good match, honestly. Possibly the match of the night. Depends on what you feel about the main event. But just another good tag team match from Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. We then had a video recap of the Bliss and Bayley feud. Tom Phillips caught up with Bayley and brought up Alexa Bliss's comments. Bayley came off very confident in this promo. She said that Alexa Bliss is out of her league, and if she thought stealing the NXT Women's Championship from her is going to be easy, she's got another thing coming. I like happy-go-lucky Bayley, but I also like confident, fire under her ass kind of Bayley as well. Give her that edge that she needs, because that hokey, cheesy smile stuff isn't going to... I guess it'll help her go over, but she definitely needed another dimension to her character. Third match was Emma versus Mary Kate. I know it's been a while since heel Emma debuted, but why does she wear those tiny-ass black gloves? I don't get it. It doesn't match any of her gear, and like I said, they don't fit on her hands. She takes them off anyway. Is it part of... I guess it's part of her entrance, but I don't know, they just look weird that they just cover half of her hand anyway. I think it was Rich Brennan who made the joke, where's Ashley, in reference to Full House. They actually kept making Full House references throughout this match. I don't know, I felt like Michael Cole was on commentary with those jokes. Emma did land a nice drop kick and a kick to the back of the head. And then they also talked about Emma being the cornerstone of the early Divas Revolution with Paige back in NXT a couple years ago. And how she was on Raw when the whole build was happening with Sasha, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Bayley. Speaking of Full House, though, I would love to see Bob Saget get F5'd by Brock Lesnar. I don't know why. They brought it up, and I just had that thought in my head just to see him go flying. Anyway, Emma hit the Emma Mite sandwich in the corner and won with the Emma lock. Just another women's squash match. Obviously, they're preparing Emma for Asuka for TakeOver, so there's just another win to build momentum for her leading into TakeOver London. We then got a recap of the NXT title match from a couple weeks ago, and then the attack Apollo Crews had on Corbin last week. Corbin cut a promo, said that last week the attack was personal, or 2 weeks ago the attack was personal, and he challenged Apollo Crews to a match at TakeOver. Baron Corbin's really coming to his own as one of the top heels in NXT. He's got really good confidence, really good mic skills, to be honest, and just the cockiness that he shows that he doesn't care. He's going to do whatever he needs to get to that top spot. Definitely, he showed that off in this promo this week. Fourth match was Dash and Dawson versus Corey Hollis and John Skyler. There wasn't really much to this match. I think 5 minutes of the 5 minutes and 30 seconds of this match was Dash and Dawson working over Hollis's knee in their corner. Really nothing else to it. Hollis was able to tag Skyler, and they hit their Flapjack Codebreaker finisher to win. I'm not going through all the details. It bored me to death, this match. But during this match, it was announced that the Vaudevillains are invoking the rematch clause next week, and will be getting the rematch for the NXT Tag Team Championship. That's the only good thing that came out of this match, was that announcement. Tom Phillips then interviewed Asuka about her mask and what it means, but before she could say anything, Dana Brooke approached her. Dana said that she earned Asuka's respect, but is bothered by Asuka patting her on the head a couple weeks ago. She then challenged her to a match next week on NXT TV. I'm not sure what that is. Asuka accepted. She pulled off the mask and just said yes. After she left, Emma ran up from behind and asked Dana if Asuka bought it, and Dana said she got it hook, line, and sinker. So let's see what happens next week between that. I don't know if Emma's going to be interfering, costing Asuka the match, or what the case is, but we definitely have some intrigue around this secondary women's feud leading into TakeOver London. It was also announced that Finn Balor will be defending his NXT Championship against Samoa Joe at TakeOver, and there'll be a contract signing next week. We then got a video of Samoa Joe, I believe, at his home. He said that Regal sent him home because Balor might put the match in jeopardy, but he didn't send him home for Joe's protection, but to protect Finn Balor. He said some other stuff as well, but that was the main point, that Joe's a dangerous man. He's going to do whatever it takes to win the NXT Championship in London. The fifth and final match was Bayley defending her NXT Women's Championship against Alexa Bliss. They did the spotlight introductions again. There was a little back and forth action early in the match, but Bayley was able to build some momentum and strung together some nice moves. There was a little botch at this point when Bayley tried attempting a dropkick through the ropes, but I think Alexa was a little too far, so it doesn't look like Bayley connected with all of it. They went outside for a little bit. Alexa threw Bayley into the apron. She then hung her up over the top rope, and they went to a commercial break. Back from the break, Bliss had Bayley in a nice arm lock. Bayley broke free, tried making a comeback, but Alexa stopped her with a slap right across the face. Kind of reminded me of a Stephanie McMahon slap. Not as hard, but definitely had the impact that it needed to get the crowd going. She then hit her Bliss flip with like the moonsault to like the knees to the gut, but got a 2 count. Bliss was then on the top rope, but Bayley grabbed her and slammed her down. She then landed a nice suplex and a multiple like forearms and attacks in the corner. Bliss countered one of them and hit a sunset flip for a near fall. Bayley then connected with her own slap, and then the belly to Bayley suplex to retain her championship. After the match is when things got very interesting. Ava Marie made her way down to the ring with a microphone in hand, so you know it's not going to be good. Before she even got to talking, the crowd booed her. She tried saying her lines, but she just seemed flustered. The crowd threw her off her game. She tried telling them to be quiet, went to the same phrase she was about to say about the inevitable happening. The crowd booed even louder. She called them, I think, little dorks, nerdy dorks, something like that. They finally hushed up and allowed allowed Ava to say that she will be challenging Bayley next week. Her exact words were, "Next week, you'll be defending your NXT Women's Championship one-on-one versus me." So a little wordy, but next week it will be Ava Marie against Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. And God better not have Ava win that NXT Championship next week. Full Sail will blow up. The NXT universe will blow up. I fear for what's going to happen to Ava if she does beat Bayley next week. I hope that's not the case. I hope Triple H and whoever's booking the show is smarter than that, than to do that to Bayley's run, especially on a free show on the WWE Network, and not have her lose the title, not to Ava, but to have her lose the title on a TakeOver special. I just don't see the benefit of having Ava as champion. She can't talk, she can't wrestle, the crowd hates her. The only good thing is that I guess it's a good thing that she has a show on ETV, or E-Channel, whatever it's called, Total Divas, to promote the championship. But that's about the only publicity this will get, because any NXT fan will hate it if it does happen. As for the match itself, it was really good. Couple missed spots, like I mentioned earlier in the match, but it was good. It was a good match, good TV main event. I definitely would have been upset if this was on a TakeOver special, but if it was the main event, we would have had a problem. But as for a regular episode of NXT, it was a good main event. I liked it a lot. Alexa Bliss still has some work to do in the ring, but nothing that can't be fixed in a couple weeks, to be honest. But she definitely has all the tools to become a major player in the NXT women's division. As for the show, though, it wasn't the best episode I've seen. You had 3 pretty much squash matches, with the 2 women's match and what was the other match? The 2 women's matches and I guess the Chad Gable, Jason Jordan match. I mean, obviously the Ascension had their own turn on offense, but it was more or less building up Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. Oh, no, not that match. That was actually a good back and forth match. The squash match with Dash and Dawson. Yeah, that one definitely didn't need to be as long as it was. So yeah, I take back the Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, and the Ascension match was pretty good as well. But next week, trust me, that I'm not looking forward to that women's match. So I wish you luck, Bayley, in carrying that match, and I hope you can get at least a 3-star match out of Ava Marie. So before I end the show, I watched actually all 3 episodes of Breaking Ground, just to get my thoughts on this a little bit. I know I focus mostly on NXT, but stray away from the usual on this show right now. It was a really good show. I like it's got a really Hard Knocks feel to it. If you guys watch that, the Hard Knocks show on, I think it's on HBO. Just the backstage stuff. I'm not sure whether I have William Shatner doing the voiceover. It sounds like a nature documentary the way he's talking. But other than that, it's a really good show. I like the focus on not some of the top stars. They focused on ZZ, the runner-up of Tough Enough, which I didn't watch. This guy, I don't even know how he got an invitation, even though he was the runner-up. He can't talk, he can't wrestle, he's got no cardio. The kid's 19 years old. I give him credit for trying, but he's not going to cut it. Some other guy, Tony, or I forget his name, Sabatelli, Devin Taylor a little bit, Josh, the winner of Tough Enough. Some parts were really cool, actually. The orientation stuff, the video package looked really cheesy, like you would see in any other job when you first got hired. Just welcome to the team. We have all the tools that you need. But it was just a really good show, just seeing the current NXT stars, what they're doing, Corey Graves, Tyler Breeze, Apollo Crews, how they interact with some of the rookies. You had Tyler Breeze, Sami Zayn, and Bayley give their little speech to the new recruits. Even the stuff they did with the training for the open training camp kind of thing, the 3 days of learning the tools, cutting promos. William Regal got pissed at one of the points because no one was listening to him. They were doing a roll. You're supposed to land on your left foot. And he just got really frustrated with it. But it was just a really cool, different show that they have on the network. So just a lot of more of that stuff I could definitely get myself into. Just maybe don't peel back all the layers of the WWE, but some of that stuff on how they go to train to be an NXT superstar. It's really cool. I liked it a lot. I can't wait for more episodes. And they're only a half hour long each, so that's not bad. You can bust out the 3 episodes in like 2 hours if you wanted to. So that was episode 40 of Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. Next week, we do have the dreaded Ava Marie NXT Women's Championship match. We have the contract signing between Finn Balor and Samoa Joe as well. And the Vaudevillains get their rematch with Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. So you got some good segments in there. Some good, some bad. Come back next week. Peace.